Hello, hello, and welcome our audience today. Welcome to our webinar, Delivering Excellence, Ensuring Quality in Retail System. I am Sneha, your moderator for this session, where we'll explore the critical aspects of maintaining high quality retail systems and ensuring seamless customer experience. Today, we have two incredible experts joining us Nitin Srivastav, our host for day, and very popular Mr. Gautam Gupta, our esteemed guest speaker. So, before we get started, let me introduce our host, Nitin Srivastav. He is co founder of SDET Tech, a global software quality assurance company with offices in India and US. With extensive experience across industries, Nitin is dedicated to making SDET Tech a leader in performance, functional automation, and security testing by delivering efficient, high quality solutions tailored to business need. Welcome, Nitin. I'm putting you on the stage. Hi, Nitin.
Hello, Sneha. Thank you, Sneha. And good morning, everyone. Very excited to have you all in this webinar today. Thank you for joining. And
Thank
for
you.
today's topic, we're going to talk about quality assurance in retail systems. There are many polls about the topic, what we should talk about, and we choose this hot and critical one. And before we dive in, we have with us Gautam, and uh, if he can onboard, I will like to thank him for taking the time out for this session. I'm very excited to have him and discuss about all the possible ways to ensure quality in retail system.
Sure. Gautam is here.
Gautam.
Let's welcome Gautam. Hi, Gautam.
Yeah. Thank you, Sneha. Thank you, Nitin. Thanks for giving a warm. And it's my pleasure to be here. First, I would like to thank SDET. I saw like they recently completed 5 years, so that's a great milestone to achieve. I wish you all the success for many more years to come. So,
Thank you, Gautam, and
Thank you.
we are very honored to have you with us and speaking on this event. And just so people know, Gautam has almost 2 decades of experience in IT industry. He spent a lot of time working in different industries with different business domains like attack, retails. So today we're going to talk about retail systems, ensuring quality in retail systems, and Gautam gonna share his insightful experience and thoughts on this.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
let's dive in and see what we can get out of this session.
sure,
Quality
sure. I
assurance.
think
Go ahead, please.
without any further ado, I would like to hand over the stage to both of our experts now. I think, Nitin, the stage is all yours. I'll take myself off. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Sneha. So quality assurance is critical part in every digital transformation in every business domain, whether it is data accuracy, security, complex integration systems. The only difference in the business domains, what put QA are at a different level is the process is the way to best fit the QA into the project processes. That makes the difference in fitting it into different business domains. So, Gautam, would you like to share your experience in retail industry, especially when it comes to quality assurance?
Yeah, sure. Nitin. I mean, it's a great question. I mean, as you said, quality assurance is something which is, I would say, it's almost similar across different domains. It's just the kind of a strategy that we put in for depending upon what's the use case and what is the business model that we are following. Uh, Before jumping onto the answer, I mean, I wanted to give a brief about what exactly is a retail system. I mean, when we talk about retail system, it actually encompasses multiple components which are highly interconnected in the processes that facilitate the operation of retail businesses. I mean, to name some of the key elements are like point of sale system, where the actual customer checks out, and then there are multiple ways these days, right? These days, like you can check out from a self checkout, you can go to the kiosk, you can do a checkout from a mobile. So these are different data points in the point of sale system, so which is itself very complicated. Then inventory management system, order management system, the replenishable system where uh, the orders are placed automatically, if something is getting short on inventory. Uh, how we do a like a customer management system, how do we store the data for customer. uh, there are things like product information management system where we maintain the data for product. Let's say we change it at one place and it's reflected globally, how the description changes in a different countries across the uh, domains. Uh, in terms of a testing in retail industry, quality assurance in my understanding plays a very crucial role due to the high complexity of the systems and the data accuracy requirements which are there and the critical needs of the customer to ensure a seamless experience. Uh, Ensuring the quality of our system means focusing on combination of things like scalability, security, system reliability, and and the functionality itself, right? Given the high volume of transactions and the high volume of uh, like the data that we maintain,
Yeah.
right? A robust testing strategy would probably include performance, load, security, kind of doing the uh, functional automation to make sure our systems can handle millions of customers globally, right?
Right.
Uh, and and how does the data like flow between these different systems that we talked about in a retail from one system to and uh, that how interconnected they are, right? I mean, when we pass the data from one system to another, how it is being behaving. So I can quote one example, uh, not exactly related to retail, but it was one of the major incident that happened recently. I think last year summer, many of my close friends were also infected. You might have heard about the global cybersecurity firm known as CrowdStrike. It had a issue with like they did some kind of a deployment
Yep.
and it was closely tied to Microsoft and all the Windows system were impacted and it impacted uh, the entire airline reservation system, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
it
people were
impacted
stuck in
most of the
airport and
businesses. I remember. Yeah.
even the one of my friend was at the rental office on that same day and he wasn't able to get the car so he had to use the public transport and all. So I mean, think about it. Just one uh, I think the root cause of that problem was something in the crowd strike which was expecting a template having a input field of something like maybe 20 or something and then it was like 21 which allowed and it failed. So think about it like how it resulted into one small mistake which we could have caught while doing a like a contractual testing between two systems and it resulted in such a uh, such a lost customer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's so true. So I've seen one of the Netflix series, Breaking Bad, where the one minor glitch caused the complete failure at airlines and complete airplane blown up. So that was a good part. Is that was just a virtual thing, not the real part. So, but
Right.
that's so true. The data accuracy is quite important in most of the domains, especially retail. So, Gautam, what do you think? What should be the good time to start planning of QA and executing the QA activities?
Yeah, in my experience I think and what the industry trend is I think uh, in be it a retail or any other system or any other domain, it is to my understanding it is always essential to embed QA right from the inception of the project. uh, I've seen a lot of like people moving towards the shift left and that should be the approach where involving QA where during the requirement gathering phase itself and then uh, early in the like development cycle, right? I mean, and QA should not be an afterthought. It should be kind of an integral part of the entire process, right? Right, running QA in parallel to the development helps us identify the issues early, which in turns reduces the cost and having avoiding that major bottlenecks later. Like if we have to fix something which comes later on, it the cost would be pretty heavy. So uh, I think having a QA as early as possible would be would be my choice. And
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. I agree that helps mitigating the risk on time. And you earlier mentioned about the functional automation and part. So I would definitely would like to know about your thoughts on test automation strategies, because definitely it speeds up the testing cycle. So, and achieving all the goals that you said, like introducing QA earlier so that it can run in parallel. So, I think automation could be one of the key factor there. What's your thought on test automation strategy in retail systems?
uh, so the automation to me starts from the beginning itself. When I say like yeah, QA should be involved as early as possible. Let's say we are gathering the requirements at that. So we know like there are strategies like TDD and the BDDs where uh, the development itself is driven by the test. So we write the test first and we try to automate as much as possible, and then as we develop we run through these tests and then get the issues early. In terms of like utilizing the overall test automation framework, I think a layered approach might be a better solution where uh, let's say we focus on API first, and then which are kind of a backbone of any system where we are focusing on the business logic, what is being expected from one system to another, how the data is being uh, getting requested and served from the processor, uh, and how the before even moving on to the UI testing, right? I mean, if we find issues in the API logic that or a business logic that's like fixing would be easy. So API test automation, then the functional automation of the critical customer journeys is one of the things that we should start aiming early, like a prioritization of the customer journeys. Let's say in a e-commerce platform, like automating some flows around the cart scenarios itself, because that's where the customer shop would be critical to me, right?
Right.
And the database testing, let's say what is the read and write, right, for our DB, what kind of are our queries itself highly optimized, are they efficient, will be able to scale. So running that kind of automation around the database also would also be helpful, and on top, like some kind of a modular approach might be even better, where we build those kind of reusable test modules, and then through which developers can uh, run their program and then find out the issues early. That 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 to me is a kind of approach that we should follow.
Yeah, well said on this. The layered approach, I really liked the one, and it gives like more efficient solution. I just that reminded me of one of the, I would say, I would call it kind of case study out of SDET Tech experience with one of the client. It was not too old; it just a few months back, where our team understood the requirement from clients, and they what team did is a modular approach and layered. It was kind of mix and match to utilize the testing at max. It was a combination of API, UI, and the layout testing as well as the DB. It was not every test case kind of thing, but it's a mix and match. That framework, when they developed, it was useful not just for QA, but the development team can test their own code before even integration. So that kind of
Mhm.
layer and modular approach definitely helps, and we just seen it in our recent example where client really appreciated the approach our engineers did there. So yeah, that's so true. That layered approach, testing DBs early stage, testing APIs at early stage, even before integration. If QA framework can be reusable, that's a great plus for any particular team. Before proceeding further,
One
yeah,
point
go
even
ahead.
I would like to add there.
Yeah,
So
sure.
maybe in terms of thinking from a testing point of view, I can say the future it lies where if we can bring in some kind of a framework for a like us like for support activities also, where when we deploy, after the deployment, it we are kind of building those frameworks which are kind of self-healing. Let's say if I
What?
saw an uh, issue in our API, and I know this could be fixed from this, or maybe we have a canary deployment or a A&D deployment. So my system is able to detect that this is the issue, and then let me push this deployment to solve this. So some kind of a self-healing approach that we can also do.
Yes, that's what needed nowadays, especially in era of AI. There are plenty of AI algorithms that made it possible, and we can get the auto heal or self heal achieved. And the most time consuming task in test automation is not writing the framework or using it for the first time, but we need it requires regular maintenance and enhancement updates as per the development gonna be continued, so testing has to be continued. If we spend time on healing manually nowadays, we are definitely bringing our product a step back. So auto healing and self healing, you said it completely right, and totally agree with it. Self healing is nowadays is kind of must, I would say.
Yeah, very true.
So yeah, before we proceed with further discussion, I really encourage our audience to put their questions in the comment section so that we can discuss in our Q&A session. So since Gautam, we talked about self healing, and in today's era, we are talking about any topic. How come we cannot talk about AI? So, what do you think? How retail system can be benefited with AI, or how we can leverage AI in the retail systems?
I mean, as we all know, like AI is one area which is kind of touching everything these days. Not, I mean, QA is not untouched from it. So, uh, I think it's AI is a support system which can help us to make more intelligent decisions and bring the more bring it like more efficiently, uh, and reduce the time which was taken to, let's say, uh, document the test cases, right? That's earlier it was taking a lot of time just to think about the test scenarios and document it. So I think some of the key areas where AI is helping as of now is like a predictive analysis of the code base. If we there are tools which can let you know like this area or uh, this code in the system is prone to errors. So maybe focus our tests in that around that feature so that we can catch the issues early, right, and fix it, and maybe uh, suggest some fixes also, right? I mean
Right.
run the test again. Then there's an intelligent test case generation also, which there are tools which can, if there are business requirements which are clear, we are able to generate the test cases automatically, and based on the customer journeys, the priority could also be defined, like this is a P1 test case, this is a P2, right? And then uh,
Right.
apart from the test case generation, there's the AI based uh, test generation also, right, on top of those test cases, that we can just plug those tests and then see if it is working or not, in such a way in the framework like we used to do for the BDD approaches, where we have the step defs, and the step definition has the uh, code which is already there in the in the framework, right? So and we all know like the tools like Copilot, right? GitHub
Mhm.
Copilot, especially, which is kind of like it's a big help to increase the test coverage where it can automatically write the unit test. Just you just need to make sure that it's getting covered, right? And I would also say like the AI tools are also helping in kind of a automated anomaly detection, where let's say you are running a performance test, and it would help us in proactively address those issues itself and identify those bottlenecks like, which are there. So I think AI is gonna be a a, a great help to QA processes, and it would definitely reduce the time
Yeah.
which which is there for executing certain things. So
Yeah, just a follow-up thought came in my mind. I was in some discussion about this AI-based test cases and
Mhm.
auto heal, even at unit level tests. So there was a big discussion going on at different platforms. I have been fortunate to be a part of some of those platforms where people were talking about large learning model LLMs versus small learning models for these kind of activities, because the small learning models, it would be more feasible, more accurate, and same reliable as LLMs. So people nowadays are thinking in that direction. I'm sure people are working on uh, developing, and very soon we're going to see some of the SLMs, small learning models, which gonna be, provide more feasible solution. It has reduced lesser cost, infrastructure cost. It has more faster execution, lesser maintenance. So when it comes to that, I'm sure it gonna be come into the market very soon.
and
Industry or domain specific learning models. That would definitely help reducing the cost as well as maintenance time, duration, everything. It gonna be enhanced with the specific learning models to the domain.
very true. I mean, it would definitely reduce the cost. Like it would be very customer focused, and the domain specific models which are there, which which would eventually help. Like you can set up those within a small premise also. So
Right.
that's
And I'm very happy, very glad to share that SDET Tech team is leveraging AI to develop a QA solution that helps deliver feasible and, more importantly, most efficient solution, makes delivery faster and assure the quality with that faster delivery. So SDET Tech team is leveraging AI, is not behind, and leveraging AI to develop the QA solutions as well.
yeah, awesome.
So
That's the way to go.
yeah, way to go. Since we are very close to end of our session, Gautam, I would not let this topic left behind, and want to talk about this, where we we as a product need to prepare for sales events like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, where product has to go through heavy traffic, unexpected traffic patterns, and I would say extreme conditions. So, what's your thought, or what's your experience preparing for this kind of activities or goals?
I mean, that's a great question. I was thinking like why this is not being asked so far. So that's one of the most challenging time in any retail system when there's a like events like Black Friday, right? Where we expect a lot of traffic. So to me, it's not something that we specifically. I mean, we definitely do uh, 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 think about the Black Friday and those sales, but it's something that we are kind of trying to bake in within the process itself through a operational excellence kind of a things and engineering excellence practices that we are bringing within the process. And apart from running the load and stress test, which is kind of simulating the peak traffic conditions uh, to ensure that our system can handle that heavy load without performance degradation, right? And kind of a chaos testing also, like if there's a failure, how we're responding to that failure, right? I mean, kind of a uh, uh, like potential vulnerabilities that can come and build a resilience around it. Uh, and then we do there's a like a cadence of doing a DR flow testings also, where we intentionally fail from one cluster
Yeah,
and then run the traffic from another cluster to see if we are able to handle that.
kind of fail
And
safe.
yeah, and then uh, scalability is also one of the things that we ensure that since we are expecting a lot of traffic, high volume of transaction, and our system should remain highly available. How efficiently we scale uh, with Kubernetes and all, right?
Yep.
And what is a minimum system need and what is a maximum? How do we horizontally scale without impacting the customer? And then uh, something like an incident response planning in advance also. Let's say we have a we have well defined incident plan in places to address issues in real time, right? I mean, some issues which are there, which we are which we think could come. What would be our response to those? So these are some of the practices, but I think this is something which we are kind of baking in within the system by bringing in those uh, operational excellence and the engineering excellence practices in our system. So yeah.
Yeah, well said. I had some thoughts. I think you already covered like fail-safe test, scalability that we used to do it with our clients too, and we are doing it for very long time. Scalability, fail-safe test, and the most important is plan at that time as soon as we find the risk areas. The sooner we find the risk areas, sooner we find the way to mitigate those. So yeah, fail-safe test, scalability, and a spike test, finding the best suitable infrastructure to handle that kind of load. Sometimes I see companies do is like set up a complete different set of infrastructure just for handling this kind of load during that time, and then they can come down. Either it can be in automated manner, or it can be done manually too. I have seen at places where the infrastructure has been set up for particular event duration, the peak durations, and then they go back to the regular ones. Kubernetes and pods nowadays are like very common for these situations.
Mhm.
And yes, we this is going to help us to mitigate the risks.
Yeah, I think the future lies somewhere between, like, as of now we do talk about a lot about the software as a service or a infrastructure as a service. I think the future would be something like more of a agent based, where let's say we are talking to AI generator, and then it automatically talks to different agents based on what our need is. Like automatically, like if I need a Google cloud storage, or if I need a something like Azure, whatever best fit my need.
Yep.
And that's where that agent-based concept would start coming. We'll start soon start seeing some kind of a agent-based structure. So the
Yeah.
agent would spin off and then select the things that we need.
Yeah, it's in the market. Just how soon it can be popular. That's all right. It's very soon we're gonna see it.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. And yeah, I think the time for questions. Isneha, if you wanna, yeah, you're here. So if you
Yeah,
can give us
sure.
some questions.
I actually don't want to interrupt in between your conversation because it was so interesting. I got so involved into it. But again, we have time limit foundations, and I got a few questions also. Out of those, I think most of the questions also covered by Nitin. So I think those are answered, I hope. Just one question I feel that I think can be elaborated a little bit more, which is that what future trends do you see shaping the way retail businesses approach software testing and quality assurance?
Gautam, would you like to go on this? It is specific to retail, or I can go. I would
Yeah.
like you to take this. Yeah.
So I think the way the customers are evolving and then the way the technology is shaping up, everybody wants everything faster, like, right? I mean, how fast we can deliver so that our competition, I mean, there's a lot of competition, right? It's how faster we can go to the market and with a quality product. So somewhere, I think the way seeing the future is how closely we can like how the QA could pair up with the development process itself. Like we talked about embedding the QA processes within the development life cycle so that like there's no additional time which is there for running the QA and finding the issues early. I think that's where the trend lies. Uh, be it automated approach, be it a AI generated approach, or through any different tools, but the faster delivery and like how we can gain that customer. I
Mm,
mean,
mm, mm.
for running a retail business, customer is the is kind of a customer is driving that, right? So how we are serving that customer, how fast and how reliably.
Yeah, right.
Right, right. It's all about the customer satisfaction and
Yeah.
how efficient we are making them to use our application and so, right.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
some similar question that probably I would like to add on that, like how the real time versus the synthetic data, how we can assure things that customer experiences.
mm,
Definitely, it's a good question. Whoever put in there must have some real time experiences on this. I do have the same. Where test data we use for testing, that's so right. For production of the live data we have the monitors, but how about the live testing? So yes, synthetic data comes into picture in those cases. And definitely when we talk about AI based tests or even the traditional approaches, we still in both ways the answer would be the synthetic data, where we can use and approach for testing in the live environments. Definitely it has to be a controlled testing efforts, because it would be a live environment.
Yeah. And there are tools which can generate the test data also, like
Yep.
AI based tools which can help in generating that test data, which is very real, very much like a real data. But obviously it's not actual like a customer data, but yeah.
Yes. Any further questions, Sneha? I think we are almost at the time.
yeah. I
Yeah.
know, I know. I am like really feeling like the time has clicking more speedingly, I guess, this time. But I think with the end of the session, as we are wrapping up, I would really like to thank both our guest speaker. Thank you so much, Gautam, for your insightful and expertise over here for all the answers that you gave. I hope all of my audience have got the answers of their questions that have been going on their mind, and your knowledge and experience have truly enriched everybody out here. Thank you so much for coming up and accepting our invitation.
Yep.
And I would like to thank Nitin also for taking up this session, for engaging with Gautam and taking up to this knowledgeable session. Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much, Nitin and Gautam.
Yeah, again, we are honored to have you here, Gautam. And yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Sneha, for organizing all this. And I hope audience would get something out of this, all insightful thoughts Gautam shared. And if still anyone have questions, we are on LinkedIn. Please feel free to reach out. If we can be of any help, it would be great.
Yeah. Thank you, Sneha and Nitin. Thanks for inviting it. It was my pleasure
Thank
to.
you, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you, Gautam. Thank you
It's
again.
Yeah. Bye
great, great.
bye.
Just by ending the session, I would request all of my audience, in case the recording will be available on our LinkedIn page. In case if you guys have any unanswered question left with you, you can directly send us the email. One of our SMEs would definitely give you the answers for those. And if you are looking for some sort of solutions or consultancy for your some issues going on your application, or you want to collaborate with SDET Tech, you are always at the right platform. You can connect with us over the LinkedIn. Our contact details are mentioned over there. You can contact us. And for any further insights on webinar, upcoming webinar, past webinars, or any such sessions, just stay tuned. We will keep you updated. And thank you with that. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye bye.